Om Shri Sai Ram. My loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Saram everyone. It's a great joy to welcome three devoted singers who have been offering their melodious voices at the divine lotus feet for many years. Hailing from different parts of India, yet united by their love for Bhagwan and Bhajan Seva, brothers have touched countless hearts through their soulful singing in Prashanti Nilayam and beyond. Brother Ravikumar, a name synonymous with devotion through music, has been rendering bhajans in Prashanti for decades. His deep voice and unmatched bhava instantly transports listeners to a higher plane of spiritual experience. Brother Amey Deshpande, with his unique energy and vibrant style, adds a youthful dynamism to the bhajan sessions. His singing beautifully blends traditional devotion with a contemporary touch, inspiring the younger generation to participate wholeheartedly in bhajan seva. We enjoyed your bhajan today, Brother Amey. Hey Vishwanath, hey Gaurinath. Lovely today. Brother Siddhartha Raju feels odd to introduce you in a very formal way, but I need to do my duties. Siddhartha, known for his serene and soothing renditions, brings a meditative quality to the bhajan experience. His soft yet powerful delivery allows devotees to sink into the sweetness of the divine name. Together, this trio forms a harmonious blend, each voice distinct, yet merging in perfect unity, reminding us of Swami's message that music is a pathway to the heart of God. Let us now open our hearts and join them in singing the glory of the Lord as they lead us on this musical journey towards divine bliss. Let's give them a warm welcome. Sai Ram.
कोटि प्रणाम शतकोटि प्रणाम शतकोटि प्रणाम कोटि प्रणाम शतकोटि प्रणाम शतकोटि प्रणाम हे दीननाथ साई राम दीननाथ साई राम हे दीननाथ साई राम दीननाथ साई राम हे दीननाथ साई कोटि प्रणाम.
Offering our loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of our ever-present Swami. Revered elders, dear brothers and sisters, a loving Sairam to all of you, and welcome to Prashanti Nilayam. How is your Partiyatra coming along? Is that what you have been told to tell? No, I guess, usually this is what would happen typically. Whenever Swami would come and ask us anything, from where have you come? We were kind of, told. What is that? Swami, we come from you. So, give the right, politically right answer. So is that the case? Are you all enjoying your trip to Prashanti? It's been only the second day. Right. And that is what we wanted to talk about today. Why do we come to Prashanti? What is the need to come to Prashanti? Is not Swami omnipresent? Is he not there in London? Is he not there all over UK? Is he not there in Italy, in Spain, and in zone, which zone is this? 6. Right? So then what is the need to come to Prashanti? And how to make the best use of our stay over here? So we just thought we will share a few thoughts about this. Brother?
So we were talking about what a pilgrimage means. So you must have all heard about talks, before you even made your pilgrimage here. You must have heard a lot of talks about why we are going to make the pilgrimage here. So we have heard the definition, right? So your Cambridges and the Oxfords scattered around UK. So you have those definitions, right? Where they say that even if you Google it or a chat GPT it or whatever you do nowadays, the meaning is that a person goes from one place to another holy place, right? To live a different kind of a life in another place. And after they have lived a holy few days, they come back to their daily lives, right? That is what a pilgrimage is.
Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that definition? Going from one place to a holy place, spending a few days.
Yeah, and it also says that when you are in that holy place, it can lead to personal transformation.
It
It could. There is a question mark, right? It could lead to personal transformation.
Even if there is no personal transformation, it's okay.
So, but that's because, probably because when we come on a pilgrimage or when we undertake a pilgrimage, there are two kinds of journeys that are happening. One is the physical journey that we are actually undertaking, right? That's the external journey. But this transformation that could happen, as we said, happens, if it does happen, it happens if the internal journey that we undertake during the pilgrimage is as successful and as productive as the external journey itself. Right? So how does this happen? When we said it could happen, why do we say it could? Because while the external journey is still pretty much in our control, we book our tickets, we make our reservations, and we actually undertake the journey. The internal one is not as straightforward as that. The external one can be coordinated by someone else for you. You just have to come report at the right place at the right time, and your journey will happen. But that's not the case with the internal journey, because that's a very personal journey, and it's a little bit more taxing, and it calls for a lot more involvement from the individual itself. And this, we believe, in our limited understanding, that this happens in 3 phases. This internal journey, to have a successful completion of an internal pilgrimage, in order to feel that transformation when we have taken up that external journey. It happens if we successfully finish 3 phases during this journey.
Because if it is the external journey that we are talking about, and if it is just sheerly being in Prashanti Nilayam would bring about that transformation, then I think the first set of transformed people should be us, because we live here. Right? And then there are the dogs and the donkeys and the cats, and they all, and all the vendors outside, the hawkers on the street, They all should be like self-realized souls, isn't it? If it was only the external journey that mattered. But unfortunately, it is not. Which means what makes the change, the X factor, is really the internal journey. So how does this happen? As Brother Siddharth was saying, this happens in 3 phases. What are those 3 phases? The first phase is what Swami refers to as, or what the scriptures refer to as, Sthala Mahatmyam, which is to know the glory of the place. If you don't know where you're going, what's the use? You ask a lot of people outside the Prashanti Nilayam ashram, many of them have no clue. There are so many patients who come to the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, to the general hospital. There are lots of doctors who come over there and work, and we will talk about one of them. Most of them don't know where they are coming. Oh, some Puttaparthi is another place, right? So what is the significance of this place? So just imagine if I were to ask you a question. If you were God and you were to choose a place where you were to be born, what kind of a place would you choose? Think about it.
London?
Probably London. Obviously, it's the power center of the world.
Paris?
I don't know if there are enough Parisians here.
But London, are you sure? The weather, despite the weather, in spite of the weather?
I think, they pretty much anyway ruled, they looked for good weather. That's how they came to this place, right? Right, so just think about it. Probably New York, Washington, London, Tokyo, right? This would be the place where you would want to start your avataric mission. It's easier, isn't it? It's anyway a power center. And so if you were born in a powerful place, it gives you that much more mileage. Would you agree? Okay, second question. If you were to choose a family, you're God, you can choose any family that you want to be born in. Which family would you choose?
The royal one.
Correct. Once again, using the same logic, most influence, I want to transform the world. I have only limited time to transform the world. It's better if I have a head start. Right? If I'm born in a royal family like the one in the Buckingham Palace, immediately as soon as I'm born, I can start influencing people. Yes or no? I mean, think about it practically, not just jokingly. Right? It would be better to start an avataric mission being born to a royal family. And what time would you choose to be born? In all of the 20th, 21st, 19th century, which part of the century that you would think would be the best time to be born? Sometime around now, with AI, so much easier to just, whatever message you want, you can just broadcast it through Media Center, through the Sri Sathya Sai Media Center, you could broadcast it. All your discourses, whatever you would give, instantly 1 million people, 1 billion people around the world can listen to it. Okay? Make sense? So if we were avatars and we would get to choose, we would probably choose this, right? What did our Swami do? What did this avatar do? He chose the remotest place possible to be born. It was described, we all know that, it was described as a stone's throw from Stone Age. Puttaparthi was described as a stone's throw from Stone Age by Arnold Schulman, one of the first Western devotees who came to Swami. Okay? So much so that even Puttaparthi did not exist on the postal map of India. Usually postal maps are supposed to be the most detailed maps because there is pin codes everywhere, right? Puttaparthi did not even have a pin code. What family did he choose? He chose the poorest of poor families. Right? Number 2. And number 3, what time did he choose? He chose between the First and the Second World War. 1926. Possibly the worst time to be born. Right? What was the message he was trying to give us? That you don't need a grand place, a grand family, a grand time. By your actions, you can make it grand. You can make your life grand and the lives of others. That is I would say, the starting point of what this place, the significance of Puttaparthi.
Yeah, a Puttaparthi where probably the biggest population was that of snakes. right? That is how the place got its name. So if you look at the previous avatars, if you have to look at Rama, if you have to look at Krishna, where they were born and where they carried out their mission were two different places, right? Where was Lord Rama born?
Ayodhya.
Ayodhya.
Recognized even by the court now.
Yeah, recognized by the court. So where did he carry out all that we know about what he did? It was even far away, Sri Lanka. Yeah, nowhere closely, remotely associated with Ayodhya. What about Lord Krishna? Where was he born?
In a jail in Mathura.
Jail in Mathura. All his childhood antics, all the miracles that he did, his meeting the Pandavas, the war, where he gave the Bhagavad Gita to the whole world, where did that happen? Kurukshetra, far away Kurukshetra. And then he set up his kingdom in Dwaraka. So the Janma Kshetra and the Karma Kshetra were two different places for the previous avatars. What did our Lord Sai do?
Yeah, even Shirdi Baba, right? He was born in Patri, but his entire Leela was in Shirdi.
In Shirdi. But our Swami was born in this little hamlet, stone's throw away from Stone Age. And he spent 8 decades of his life doing everything from here. That is the speciality of our beloved Lord, right?
Talking about Sthala Mahatmyam, as I was listening to Ravi sir, I remember this happened sometime around 2007 or 2008 when the students of one of the campuses of the university were putting up a drama. The drama was about the life of Shirdi Baba. And probably for the first time, if I'm right, in the drama, they had included the scene of Shirdi Baba's Mahasamadhi, him taking Mahasamadhi. And as the drama was going on, Swami was watching the drama, and just closer to that scene, the penultimate scene was going on, and Swami, very unusually, asked to be taken inside the interview room, which is not something that we have seen Swami do often, because he would always give his full attention to the entire duration of the program. So he went into the interview room, and obviously it was a first for all of us as students. So the drama was paused because Swami was not there. We were waiting for Swami to come back to resume the drama. Swami went in, he spent some time, and he came back, and the drama continued. The scene of Shirdi Baba taking Mahasamadhi happened. But later on, we got to know from a couple of the students who were with Swami when he went into the interview room, that when Swami went in, obviously everybody knew that the drama at that point was leading up to the Mahasamadhi. But when Swami went in, he sat by himself with his eyes closed for a little while, and then he told the students, that old man, after he took Mahasamadhi, he came back after 3 days, as we know in the case of Shirdi Baba. Swami said, but when I take Mahasamadhi, I won't come back after 3 days, but forever and ever, I will talk to my devotees from that place, from where he sat, right? And we've heard from the elder devotees and some of the senior students that on many an occasion, Swami has indicated that, he would be sitting outside where Swami's Sannidhi is now. We know that, from the 90s onwards, Swami would spend a lot of time sitting there talking to the students. His discourses were from that space in the Kulwant Hall. And even when Swami had the domes installed, which we see in front of the silver door, when that was installed in the middle of the 90s, as it was coming up, Swami had remarked to one of the devotees saying, I'm getting that dome put up because that is where will be my resting place. So he made it like a temple even before he had taken Mahasamadhi. And so the significance of the place is such that Swami has promised that he will be talking to all of us devotees from that place.
So next time, the reason why we are saying this is, next time you go to the Kulwant Hall, which is tomorrow morning, it's all, it's important that our antennas are tuned to what he has to say. If he's speaking to us, then we have to ensure that we are tuned enough to listen to him, isn't it? Otherwise, it is going to be yet another trip to Prashanti, and then life moves on. Right? For some of you, this must be the 10th trip, 50th trip. For some of you, this will be the first trip. What is the difference? In fact, tomorrow morning when you go to the Kulwant Hall, how many of you are coming for the first time to Prashanti? Okay, good. Okay, so now this is something for you all to think about. Tomorrow morning when you go to the Kulwant Hall, look up. Okay, what will you see when you look up? Some nice designs, some green and gold. So did you know that usually if you look at Bhagwan's all his institutions, they are painted in 3 colors: pink, blue and beige. Some variety of white it will be, beige color, right? From far itself you can identify that is a Sai building because of these unique colors: pink, blue and beige. So when Swami was selecting the color palette for the roof of the Kulwant Hall, they thought Swami is going to select one of these colors. But Swami selected green. And so everybody was quite surprised why Swami selected green. And of course, but nobody has the courage obviously to ask Swami, why did you select green? The painting started. Swami would come every day. The painters, the moment Swami would come, all the painters who would be on the top, they would come down, because Swami is giving darshan. So one of the days, Swami goes up to the chief painter, the painter in chief, and he materializes a green emerald ring and puts it in his hand and says, "This is for your peace, protection and prosperity." And at that time, Swami said, in this lifetime, this body will not be able to give a green diamond ring to everyone. Hence, I have decided to paint the entire Kulwant Hall into green and gold, such that everybody who steps into this Kulwant Hall will have peace, protection and prosperity. So next time you all are entering, okay, don't think you're just entering into a Kulwant Hall. Don't think you're just entering into a space where, you're going to get shoved. Don't sit here, don't sit there. I'm sure some of you must have gone through that experience.
There's some
Yes,
smiling.
yes, there are some people smiling, I can understand. Don't worry about that. Those are all the perfect distractions. Swami is trying to distract us from what is above, which is his protective peace, protection and prosperity, which will be with every single one of us.
As Siddhartha was mentioning a while back, that Swami said that is the place from where I will communicate with all the devotees, his Sannidhi. So there was this doctor, a cardiologist. There was an opening for a cardiologist in the super hospital here. And he applied. He had heard nothing about Swami earlier. He applied because there was a post vacant. He attended the interview, this was in 2015. He attended the interview in the hospital and someone brought him to the Kulwant Hall in the evening. And he was supposed to leave that evening back, drive somewhere back to Tamil Nadu. It was going to be a long drive. He wanted to leave earlier. So someone brought him to the Sai Kulwant Hall and said, "There's a chair here." He was a thick, well-built doctor. So they made him sit on a chair which faces where the devotees sit. So in front of the garage on the gent side, he was sitting on the chair. And bhajans went on. And after the bhajans, he comes out and he has this glazed look in his eyes. Glazed and shocked. And the person who brought him asked him, "Sir, is everything okay with you?" He said, "Yeah, everything is okay. But tell me, I visit a lot of temples. But why was the Arati given twice today? Mangala Arati is offered. Why was it given twice?" He was nonplussed. He said, "No, sir, it was given only once." He said, "No, see, when this Sai Baba you're talking about, so when Sai Baba came walking through, when did that happen? This is 2015. Swami left his body in 2011. He said, "What are you saying, sir? Swami left his body in 2011. No, what are you saying? When this bhajan was going on, after 15 minutes after the bhajan started, he walked like how Swami would give darshan normally. He came through the ladies' side. He in fact went one round around these boys who were singing bhajans. Then he went up to the chair in the front. And then the priest came and gave him an arati. And he walked back. And whereas the bhajans continued after that, 15 minutes after that, one more arati was taken. So this other man was also sitting in the Kulwant hall, had seen none of this. He was totally shocked. He said, no, this has not happened. And this man was a first timer to Puttaparthi, not introduced to Swami and Swami's miraculous ways. And this is how Swami had miraculously entered this man's life. And in fact, he wanted to go back immediately. He went and tried starting his car. And his car wouldn't start. Swami wanted, and then he called a mechanic at night. The mechanic said, I have to do something only at daybreak. So the next morning he came, he sat for one more session, he had a darshan, he sat for Vedam and Bhajan the next morning. Then when the mechanic came and started the car just started without any repair. It was as if Swami wanted him to stay, have one more normal darshan which everyone has. Because the previous evening darshan was a very, very abnormal one. A supernatural darshan, if you could call it. So that is the Swami who is not visible to most or all of us. But that is a Swami who walks among us. He is listening to us. He is looking at us. He is giving us darshan. So that Kulwant hall, which Amey said is very, very special, is giving us protection from up. He is right there in front of us. That from his Sannidhi, he is blessing us every day.
So keep these, the only reason, and I'm sure each one of you must have had so many experience yourselves of being in Kulwant hall. The reason why we are saying this is keep that in our heart and mind every day. So that we are, our antennas are focused on receiving the grace that Swami wants to give us. So just regarding that, let's have one bhajan regarding the Sthala Mahatmyam of our Prashanti Nilayam.
Govinda Hari Gopal Hari
Govinda Hari Gopal Hari
Govinda Hari Avatar Hari
Govinda Hari Avatar Hari
Govinda Hari Gopal Hari
Govinda Hari Gopal Hari
त्रेता में सीता राम बने
त्रेता में सीता राम बने
द्वापर में राधे श्याम बने
द्वापर में राधे श्याम बने
कलयुग में साई नाम लिए
कलयुग में साई नाम लिए
साई नाम लिए सर्व नाम लिए
साई नाम लिए सर्वा नाम लिए
साई नाम लिए सर्व नाम लिए
साई नाम लिए सर्वा नाम लिए गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे
So we have completed the Sthala Mahatmyam, which is the glory of Parthi. Now the next phase starts, which is, now that you know what this place is about, now you have to experience this place. Without experiencing it, you would have only heard somebody else's experiences. Where is our own experience, isn't it? A lot of people keep asking, that's wonderful, fantastic, brother. You guys are lucky, you guys are amazing, you had experiences. Where is my experience? A lot of our students today in the university, they ask that question, where is my experience? Swami had once in fact told, if there is one thing that you must and you can ask God, that is, Swami, give me my experience. Swami, I want my experience. You can demand that from Swami, you can beg Swami for it. Swami, I want my experience. So, the next part of our pilgrimage having listened to the glory, is our own experience, which we call as Sthala Prabhavam. What is the impact that that place has on us? We as members of bhajan group and somebody who love bhajans, we would like to share, different people will share different ways in which you can experience. For example, we heard that you went to Grama Seva. Some of you would have had an experience over there. Somebody will probably, Vedanarayan sir will come and say, through Vedas you can have an experience with Swami. We would like to say that if there is one thing that you can take away from this place, that is Swami's name. Can we keep that as our one treasure that we take back with us whenever we go back? Right? How to experience his name.
And it's important that we talk about the name, because when you take a name, what also happens is that you also immediately associate that name with a form. So you're not just taking the name, but you're also taking the form. But talking about the name accompanying the form, or for that matter, anything that has a form has a name, right? But there is a little, this is a little tricky combination to have the name and the form, because Swami himself has also said that the name always trumps over the form, or is superior to the form, right? Because Swami gave a very beautiful example in one of his discourses. He says, suppose I come to your college and I come and ask the watchman because I want to meet one of the teachers. Swami says, suppose I tell that watchman, I'm here to meet someone. He or she is about this height, this complexion, keeps vibhuti, dressed in white and white. Swami says, if I describe the form, there's no way he's going to accurately take me to that person. But if I were to tell him, I'm here to meet so-and-so, and mention the name, without a doubt, he's going to lead me to the right person. That's the significance of the name over the form. And the thing with the form is, when we think of the form, it also sometimes happens that, suppose we were to tell you the rose. Okay, think of a rose. The first thing that comes to your mind is the color, right? Probably the fragrance, if you're able to recall the fragrance of the rose that you held.
A fully blossomed, juicy
rose. Yes.
But no, with little dew drops on it.
On it, yes. But if you were to actually be given a rose, if someone was to hand you a rose, even as you realize it's a rose and as you take it, we are probably looking out for the thorns because we don't want to get pricked by the thorn, right? So that's where the form sometimes can be a little more distracting than just taking the name, which has its own great efficacy.
Talking about juicy, a mango.
Mango, yeah. Swami also gives the example of a mango, right? Swami says you think of a mango, right? You have such pleasant thoughts about the mango. Just imagine it's mango season. But when actually a mango is given to you, the first thing you want to do is smell and see if it's sweet enough. So you're distracted by a quality of the mango, which comes only when you actually get the physical form, as opposed to being able to think of the mango and be happy in the thoughts of the name of the mango itself.
Can we think of all these great devotees of God through the ages? Can we name them? Those who have not been, those who were not fortunate, like an Arjuna, like the Pandavas to be with Krishna, or like a Lakshmana to be with Rama. All the saints, can we think of a Mirabai? Yeah? Can we think of a Narsim Mehta from Gujarat? Yeah? Can we think of a Tyagaraja? All the saints, they did not live during the time of their Lord. But you know what they had? They had his name. And with that name, they were able to draw, they were able to get the Lord's darshan just by drawing him with the name. Didn't Mirabai achieve that? Narsim Mehta, in fact, while praying, Lord Shiva came, took him and showed him the Rasa Leela of Krishna. You know, all these wonderful things happened. How many times has Lord Rama not appeared before Tyagaraja? How did they manage it? Just with the power of the name. Yeah, the Lord's name.
No, oftentimes, but the reason why we are saying, for example, Meera, there was a phase, I think 2005, 6, 7, every day Swami would want to hear Meera bhajans. And so there were some brothers who were studying in the music college, they were designated Meera boys. Okay, she was Meera Bai, these were Meera boys. Okay, and every day during the bhajans would suddenly stop, and one by one, these Mere To Giridhar Gopal, Darshana Dijo Aaj, all of these bhajans would start. And Swami would emote so much. I have never seen Swami break down the way he would break down during these bhajans. Now, while in the beginning, we all also broke down with him. For example, Darshana Dijo Aaj, Pyare Darshan Dijo Aaj. Feels so, yes, Swami, give me darshan, right? And Swami would, emote. He would also weep, literally. Now, this would happen, this would go on for like every other day. This bhajan would happen 25 times, 30 times, 40 times. After that, I lost it. In the sense, I was like, another day. Another time we are hearing this.
No more tears.
No more tears. Okay? But Swami, every single day, every time he heard it, as if he was listening to it for the first time. So, I had this thought in my mind. If you are so interested in listening to Mirabai, why weren't you born during Mirabai's time? Right? And if you were to call it like an avataric blunder, I think you got your timing wrong. See, if you were born during Tyagaraja's time, during Mirabai's time, during Tukaram time, they would be happy to have you. You would also be so happy to have them. Okay, now you're stuck with people like us. Okay, and now you're crying. You're crying now. Probably you're crying at us. What kind of fellows I've got? I could have come easily during Mirabai's time. Right? This was the thought in my mind. Of course, stupid, idiotic mind that it is. But the answer I got, when I would see Swami is, Swami saying, I am crying today. You see, I kept myself away from Mirabai and came during fools like you so that you will know the love that she had for me and the love that I have for her. To tell you that, because otherwise it would have just been between me and her, between me and him. And you would have never experienced that. I want you to experience what it means to take my name.
And the beauty and the luck that we have had is that the form came down in the sweet form of our Lord, gave us the name so that we can see his form. No? Aren't we so lucky that we have had that? He came and said, chant this and you will see me. And that is what we hold on to now, isn't it? We are all holding on to the name now.
Yes. And all the great devotees that we spoke about, one common feature or common aspect is that the fact that they always had his name on their lips. Right? See, the form changes. The form of anything undergoes change. And the form is temporary as well. But it is the name that is eternal. And it is that eternal name that they had on their lips all the time. And that is what is one of the takeaways that we should have, talking about having come here and having experienced Prashanti Nilayam, having experienced bhajans. The fact that can we have the name of our Lord on our lips all the time? Because that's the power of the name. We've just told you how powerful the name is. And that name is the only thing that is worth being at the tip of our tongue all the time. A beautiful story that Swami tells is that once Shiva and Parvati were seated in Kailash, and as they were watching earth below, they saw that there was this little boy who accidentally stepped over a cliff, and he was holding on to a branch, right? And with all his strength, he was trying to pull himself up, but he was not able to. And both of them are looking at him, and they ask each other, so who's going to go and save him now? You or me? And then Parvati says, if he calls out to me and says, Amma, as he's falling, I'll go. Shiva says, yes, fair enough. If he calls out to me and says, Appa, I will go. The Divine Father or Divine Mother. They decided whoever he calls out to, that person, that God will go and save him. And Swami says, finally, after he was the end of his strength and he let go, both Shiva and Parvati were waiting to see who he's going to call out to. And Swami says, he called out, Ayyo! And neither of them were able to go to save him. Right? So if we need him at the moment at which we need him, in a crisis, when we are in distress, when we are facing a challenge, in order to be able, he should be the first name on our lips. And that cannot come without practice. And that cannot come unless it becomes as effortless as breathing. We should not even be conscious of the fact that his name is on our lips. That's where we need to be.
What we are actually trying to tell you all is fall in love with the name. No, falling in love with the name is so important for all of us. And we will come to the bhajans part of it also. Look at, all the mantras that we have. We have so many mantras. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. There are so many mantras all the time through the generations, through the Puranas, through the Vedas have been given to us. Now imagine if those were, just chanted the way like we chant, like Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Right? In fact, we were talking about the Akhanda Bhajan, the first Akhanda Bhajan.
Yeah, repeating just the name, no? Can we all imagine if we were in the place of the dacoit who became Valmiki? Can you just imagine chanting Mara, 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 Mara? How long can we do it? No? So imagine Swami said in the first Akhanda Bhajan, he came out and told the devotees that you chant throughout for an Akhanda Bhajan. Huh?
24 hours.
24 hours. Not even Shivratri, no discount, no 50% discount. 24 hours chant Sai Hare, Baba Hare. Can we chant it for 24 hours? Can you imagine? They did it. Can we imagine it today? Sai Hare, Baba Hare, Sai Hare, Baba Hare. So after a while, Swami came and told them, you put it into a tune. Yeah? So they put a tune to it into different ragas. And then they started singing the same thing, Sai Hare, Baba Hare, into different ragas. Yeah, one Mohanam, one Shivaranjani, etc., etc. And then...
for example, that Hare Sai, 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 Hare Hare was composed at that time.
At that time. One of the hundreds. We don't know most, all the other 99 we don't know. This is one bhajan that we heard.
But we were also wondering, imagine if today you were told for GAB, GAB, Global Akhanda Bhajan.
It's called GAB, right? It's fashionable to call it GAB. And hey, if you say just chant Hare, Sai Hare, Baba Hare. The poster itself will have boring, across it. So.
And I'm sure many of the YAs will be like, see you next year. We are not coming for this year's GAB.
So from that, Hare Sai, 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 Hare Hare, through the times, we have had so many bhajans. Hari Hari Sumiran, Hari Hari Bhajo Man. How many other such bhajans? Hari Hari Bhajo Man, Sai Ram Bhajo Re. So many bhajans have turned up. They all come from that one instruction of Swami saying that chant my name. That is the power of the bhajan.
And the beauty in this is that this is the stage where the name fused with something as divine and powerful as music. So when something as divine as music was combined with the powerful divine name, the output of that was these bhajans and of course the hundreds, the scores of other bhajans that we know. And that is the greatest gift that we think you can take back from here. The fact that you can take back bhajans to the point where it becomes a part of your existence. Right? That would be Sthala Prabhavam. Because the name of the Lord was given to us by the Lord himself. He gave us the name and he said, okay, I think you people will want variety. Fine, take music, because then you would have unlimited combinations by which you can sing my name, where, the beauty of ragas allowing us to sing his name with different feelings. There is a bhajan for every feeling that we have. There is a bhajan for every harek pal mein, harek kshan mein. We talk about that, right? How every situation and every circumstance and every moment whether it's when you're facing a challenge, whether it's you want to express gratitude, whether you just feel happy, you want to just sing a song, skip with a song on your tongue, there are bhajans for each and every moment that you can experience in your life. And that is the greatest takeaway that we can carry back with us towards that transformation that we were talking about.
And the idea being that, see, because the name was boring, we said, right? That is why what Swami said, okay, take music. Because you all love music, take the name, but don't forget, most of us, what happens, we fall in love with the music. We don't fall in love with the name. You see, the music was given as a vehicle for us to fall in love with the name. Most of us, we get lost in just falling for the music. Right? So what we are suggesting is, yes, begin with bhajans, but don't forget the name. And this is where, just take a simple, for example, we have heard something like Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Do you know that this is a mantra? A lot of great sages and saints and even Mahatmas give this as a mantra. Just chant Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So there are so many ashrams in which constantly Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram will be going on. Okay? But Swami said, I know it will be boring for you. If you just say Shri Ram, you won't be able to focus. Right? But then the same thing if you say something like Ram Ram Jaya Raja Ram, Ram Ram Jaya Sita Ram. Ram Ram Jai Raja Ram, Ram Ram Jai Sita Ram. Simple words, no? But see, when you put it in music, how it can be. But idea again, fall in love with the name.
So another way to experience this particular aspect of bhajans, now that we have arrived at the fact that we are going to try to take back bhajans to the point where it's going to be such a part of our core existence. There are different ways by which you can immerse yourself with the bhajan, right, in the bhajan. And this can happen over the entire bhajan session. This can happen, every single bhajan can give you such a different experience when we take the name. And talking about that, one of the methods that we would like to share with you is to visualize during the bhajan, right? And that is to basically, you figure out the story that you want to build for the bhajan that is being sung. And we'll just run you through this exercise. We have the time for it? Okay. So I would request those of you who are still awake, because some of you are not, to close your eyes and try to stay awake. Just imagine this scenario. We all know the story of Ramayana very well, pretty well. Vibhishana has made his best attempts to convince Ravan that what he's doing is indeed wrong and that he ought to return Mother Sita back to Rama. But his advice falls on deaf ears, even though he has 20 years. And at the end of it, Vibhishana decides that it is time for him to leave the company of Ravan and he wants to take refuge in Lord Rama. So Vibhishana is crossing over from Lanka and reaching the shores of India. And the scene that's happening on the beach of Rameshwaram, the tip of India, is that Rama's army is stationed there. There you can just imagine a typical war-like scenario. They're preparing for war, and you see that there are a lot of tents. All the soldiers are gearing up for the war. And the guards on duty watch that there is a ship that is coming in from the enemy camp. And as it approaches closer, they see that it is Vibhishan, Ravan's brother. What is he doing here? And Vibhishan reaches and he asks for an audience with Lord Ram because he has come to surrender. But Hanuman, Angada, Jambavan, and all the chiefs of the army, they would have none of that. There is no way you are going to meet Ram because you are the brother of our sworn enemy. And Vibhishan is stuck, literally and figuratively, because there is no going back. There's no way he's going to be able to go back to his brother whom he has disowned. And he knows that he cannot, and he realizes he cannot go forward either because this entire retinue of Rama's Sena, the army, is not allowing him to go to his Lord, whom he wants to seek refuge. And the irony of it is, just imagine this scene. The irony is that he can see Rama's tent just in earshot. It's just there. And yet you do not have the access to it. So at this time, Vibhishan realizes that there is only one way that he's going to be able to reach out to Rama, and that is by calling out to him. Call out in such a way that his song carries his feelings, his emotions, his desperation, and hope and pray that Rama hears it and Rama comes out because there is no way that he is going in. So standing there between Rama and Vibhishan is the army watching this, and Vibhishan breaks out into this bhajan.
Jaya Jaya Ram Jagadabhiram.
There is no movement at the tent. He calls out again.
He Deena Bandhu Sai Ram.
Deena Bandhu, you are the one whom I depend on. You are the one who's supposed to protect those of us who are in desperate need of protection. There is no movement in the curtains of the tent.
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sai Ram.
And then now Vibhishan realizes that maybe he needs to increase his volume at least to be able to reach him. So he remembers the form of Rama.
Danava Bhanjana Dayamaya.
Dayamaya, is there no compassion? I've seen you with your bow, with your Danava. Can you not hear me?
Dayamaya Kripamaya.
How long can the Lord stay away when there is so much of pining? Suddenly the curtains open and Rama rushes out to Vibhishan. Vibhishana falls at his feet and Rama touches him by placing his hand on his forehead.
अलख निरंजन असुर निखंडन
Alak Niranjan. The meaning of Alak Niranjan is Alak means in the snap, in a moment. Niranjana, just with that one moment when Rama touched Vibhishan's forehead and blessed him. In that one moment, he became Niranjana, that is, he became blemishless, he became pure. And with that touch, Rama also destroyed Asura Nikhandana. He also destroyed the Asura in Vibhishana and recognized him as not what we thought he was. And with this moment, Vibhishan realizes he has reached his Lord. And as he falls at Rama's feet, he sings,
हे दीन बंधु साई राम जय जय राम जय जय राम साई राम.
seeing this sight, the entire Vanara Sena realizes how foolhardy they've been to think that they could come in the way of the Lord and his devotee. Who are they to judge the depth of devotion that Vibhishan carried? Who are they to judge whom the Lord should accept and whom he should not? And seeing this wonderful transformation that happened just in front of their eyes, and seeing this lovely story of divine romance between the Lord and his devotee, the entire Vanara Sena breaks out.
जय जय राम साई राम जय जय राम साई राम जय जय राम साई राम जय जय राम साई राम.
Yes, that is one of the methods that we can take where every bhajan has a million stories to tell for every one of us. If only we can connect to the bhajan, if only we can think of nothing else but the Lord's name therein, and more importantly, the meaning of the bhajan, the meaning of the words there. If we are able to really pay close attention to that and think about it and reflect on what the meaning could be, you will realize that every bhajan has so many stories to tell for each and every one of us. We have someone with a question.
You start with even a love for the bhajan, but make it a true love. Right? So go as deep as you can into the meaning of the word. What is the bhajan trying to say? What is the meaning of the word Rama? Like he said, what is Alakh Niranjan? What is Asura Nikandana? Who is he trying to kill? Think about it. No, why should a story that happened 9,000 years back, somewhere in Ayodhya, somewhere in India, why is it relevant to me today? What does that mean to me today? What does Jagadabhiram mean to me today? No? So bring it into your life. Apply it to your life.
And once you have that meaning fully imbibed within you, within us, this is for all of us. So the day when we are singing a bhajan, in one instant when we are able to connect to Swami, if we are able to shed one tear without knowing why, it is not crying out of emotion. It is just a tear falls because we are connected to Swami in that instant. Know that the bhajan has done something to us. Yeah? So there are many ways in which we can develop bhava during bhajan. So we have an entire bhajan workshop on that. So we'll not go into all those details, but there is just one another thing. If we get to know the composer's story, if we get to know the story behind how a composition came about, we will know the, with what depth of devotion a particular bhajan has come. Because these are all, if we talk about the Mirabai and her bhajans, if you talk about Tyagaraja Kritis, they all come out of deep devotion and love for their Lord, right? In a similar way, the devotion for our Lord Sai has given rise to so many bhajans, and there are unique stories for each. So there was this one brother who was a classmate of mine. Swami called him into the interview room one day, and Swami was, in fact, you could say, in a human way, going out of his way to help the family, even financially. So Swami called this brother into the interview room, spoke to him with a lot of love, actually gave him some money and said, go and give this to your brother. He is having some trouble with money. Go and give it to him. And Swami, in a very motherly fashion, actually explained to him, see, you're taking a lot of money. This is how you have to go. This brother tells me that, I was very naive in those days. I wouldn't know how to handle a lot of cash with me. And then Swami said, so this is how you should be careful when you get down from the bus. This is how you should deal with it, etc., etc. And he was totally overwhelmed. And it was right on time that he went and gave the money to his brother. And when he came back to Parthi, he had to go near Bangalore. When he came back, he was sitting for darshan. And Swami was coming for darshan. We were in our second MBA in those days, final year of MBA. And he said, Swami, I don't know why you have given us, the family, and given me so much love. I don't think I can digest it at this moment. Please don't speak to me today. Can you imagine? Yeah, we have had these kind of prayers also. Swami, don't speak to me today. I don't know if I can handle this much love. You have overwhelmed me with this. And he is thinking this and saying, don't talk to me today, Swami. Maybe after some time, let me get this, let me ingest this. Swami comes around to where we used to sit as a class. So Swami comes, stands in front of him, points to the first MBA class, which is a 1 year junior to us. Swami says, today going and sitting in front will be first MBA. The second MBA boys have indigestion, Swami said. Standing right in front of him. And he was shocked. He said, I am just thinking right now, saying that, Swami, I am not able to digest this much love. Give me some time to digest. And Swami comes and says this. At that moment, he thought, my God, Swami, you are the Antaryami. Whom am I thinking that I can keep my thoughts away from? You are my Antaryami. And this is the Leeladhari. This is the Leela that Swami showed him right then and there, that I am the indweller and I can read every thought of yours, which gave rise to this bhajan. Antaryami Sai Purna Brahma Avatari He Giridhari Hridaya Vihari Krishna Kunja Vihari Gopala Leeladhari He Gopi Man Sanchari Madhusudana Murari He Giridhari Hridaya Vihari Krishna Kunja Vihari. Yeah, so there is a way by which, just knowing that this is the depth of devotion, this is how Swami showed his Antaryami. The whole bhajan, attains a different level of meaning to each of us, right? Yeah.
And moving to the third step that we told you that you should probably be able to get to, having made this pilgrimage, and in that internal journey, this third step is a very significant one, which is called as Sthala Mahima. That is the experience that we take. What's important is not just having made the journey, having gone through these steps, and having had the experience. But as when we said at the start, the dictionary meaning of pilgrimage tells us that there is a transformation that could happen, right? So This transformation, it's not just that the transformation should happen, it should be apparent for everyone around us and apparent for ourselves that it has happened. And how that happens, how is it apparent? It is when we don't go back to life as it was before we made the pilgrimage. When we go back, it should not be going back to the daily routine that we had before we knew everything that we learnt here.
Like, like brother, I think Ravi was saying, in the beginning, what's the definition? Spend time in a holy place and then return back to your daily life. That must not happen. There's no returning back. There's only moving forward.
That's not to say that we don't go back to our jobs, we don't do our work at home. We go back to our life, but our life is not the same again.
Yes, every single thing in our life will continue. The same traffic jams, right? The same issues at work, the same boss, the same subordinate. But the world has not changed. Who has changed? We have changed. That must be our mission of going back. Once you have left Prashanti, don't leave Prashanti behind. Take Prashanti with you. Take Swami with you. Right? Otherwise, again, as we said, there's no point of making any number of trips over here. That is what we were referring to as Sthala Mahima. So we started with Sthala Mahatmyam, then we talked about Sthala Prabhavam, and now we are talking about Sthala Mahima, which is to take back this, and like he said, everybody should be able to come up to us and say, hey, what happened to you? How are you like this? And we should be able to say, you know what? I went to my Lord's house. I went to my mother's home. That changed my life. Can we say that? No? Oftentimes, we were discussing that the only thing worthwhile is Swami's name and Swami's existence in our life. You remember when I had come to UK, I had told you one donkey story? Do you remember that? Should I repeat it? Very quick repetition. For those of you, how many of you don't remember? How many of you remember? So tell it to those who don't remember. Right? Very quickly, there was a sculptor. He used to make these beautiful statues. You remember? And he would use his donkey to transport these statues. And so once the king places an order with him, he makes the most exquisite, beautiful, mesmerizing statue of the Lord. So now, for the first time, the donkey, and on the donkey's back, the beautiful form of the Lord, the Murti of the Lord, is moving towards the royal palace. And in those days, the royal palace was situated in the middle of the bazaar, like probably in 10 Downing Street or something like that. Right? And so it's for the first time the donkey is now entering into the bazaar. And seeing the Lord, such a beautiful statue, everybody, kind of leaves what they're doing. They come up, and each one of them is doing different things. One of them is throwing flowers, some is throwing kumkum, some is throwing, haldi, and people are taking namaskar, and the donkey feels, finally my time has come. After all these years of hard work, finally people know who I am. It's okay. Thank you so much. Right? And eventually the donkey reaches the palace. And who does he see? The king. And the royal family is out there. Okay, and everybody is like looking at, and the donkey says, this much I did not expect. I mean, the king has come out for me. Okay, and all the royal personages, the sages are chanting Vedam and this Purna Kumbham and all of that. And he's now getting embarrassed because this much respect I did not expect. Okay, and obviously then the Lord is taken from the donkey's back, and is in a ceremonial procession, it is taken inside, and the donkey is still reveling in its, its newfound respect and honor. And then now there is nobody around, and the 2-3 guards over there, they look at the donkey, hey, they take that, get out from here, man. And the donkey says, whoa, what happened to you, man? I am that donkey. That donkey which just came here? Okay, and obviously everybody just chases it around. Now it's walking back to its master's place, and nobody's bothered. The bazaar is, like wherever it walks, people are kicking it, driving it, throwing stones, And, Swami says, the donkey is wondering how fickle-minded is the mind of man, it seems. 20 minutes back, I was the cynosure of everybody's eyes. I was the apple of everybody's eyes, and now nobody bothers about me. And so he goes and he complains to his master. He says, Master, what's up with this? Why such kind of differential treatment? And then the master says, donkey, you will remain a donkey. Those salutations and all of that honor was not to you. It was to the Lord who was sitting on your back. And then Swami says, he completes this by saying, my students are also like that only. As long as the name Sai is associated with us, everybody, like people like you, will be listening to us. Correct? You have come only over here because Sai student is going to speak. Imagine if you were told, student is going to speak. It's okay, I'll go and sleep. Correct? You are all over here only because the name Sai is associated with us. Similarly, from now onwards, the name Sai is associated with each and every one of you. What is the importance you are going to give to that name? Are we going to become donkeys? That's the question. There are, I think, another beautiful story that actually happened.
Yeah, when we were in Kodaikanal, Swami would come into the bus when we would move through Kodaikanal. And this has probably happened to a couple of batches. So Swami was in the bus with us. And as it was going through Kodaikanal, Swami's car was in front of the bus and the bus was behind. And then all the devotees who were lined up on the roads of Kodaikanal saw Swami's car and they were throwing flowers on the car.
They're doing pranams.
They're doing pranams to the car.
Swami's in the bus.
Swami's in the bus with us. And he says, look at that. See, people are worshipping the car, though I'm not in it, because they associate the car with me. That is why the car is getting all that. Oh yes, that is the power of good association. And then Swami doesn't stop with that. He says, and look at me, because of my association with you all, I am not getting the pranams due to me. So that is the power of Sai and Sai's company and Sai's name.
I mean, isn't it so true that, if you were to tell, for example, what do you do? I'm a gardener. Oh, okay. No, I do gardening in Yajur Mandir. Oh. Right? What are you? I'm a driver. Achha. I drive Swami's car. Oh. You see? What are you? I'm a student. Achha, student. I'm a student in Swami's college. Oh. You see, everything was just the same until the name of Swami was associated. Everything becomes now suddenly more important, more, That's exactly what we have to do. Go back and continue to do whatever you were doing. Nothing different. But now just associate Swami's name with it. People will come up to you and say, how are you the way you are? And then you will say, I'm not just an ordinary student. I'm not just an ordinary office goer. I am a Swami's office goer. Swami is my boss. Oh, they will say. I want to get that bliss that you all have. That is what the world is expecting from us. Right? So the reason why we said this was because you still have 5 more days in Prashanti. Probably if this talk happened on the last day, we wouldn't have told you all of this. Because you would be like, now you're telling after the whole trip is over. So make the best use of every single moment over here. That is our prayer to Swami, that Swami blesses each and every one of you with that peace, with that protection, with that prosperity, and most importantly, with that love for his name in your hearts. Thank you for this opportunity. Wishing you all a blissful, blessed stay in Prashanti. And don't go back to UK. Go forward to UK. Take Swami with you and bless you all. We will end with a Shanti Mantram. Unless you have any other question, we have, I think, another 5 minutes for 9 o'clock. We will end with Shanti Mantram. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साईं बाबा जी की
जय।
जय।